All right, get ready, because today we're going deep. Beyond the usual stuff you learn in school.
Definitely beyond the classroom.
We're diving into a book called Everything I Never Learned in School About How to Be.
By Darren Colucci.
Exactly, and it's full of these practical tips and advice for anyone, really.
For living a better life, yeah.
For success and happiness.
Yeah, it's really more than just, getting ahead in your career.
Yeah, it's about being like a well-rounded person.
Absolutely.
So you're ready to unpack some of this wisdom?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, so right away, Colucci comes out strong with this idea. It all starts with your thoughts.
Yeah, he really emphasizes that, doesn't he?
He does. And it's not just like, think positive and good things will happen.
No, it's deeper than that.
Right. He's talking about how our thoughts literally shape our reality.
It's like our thoughts are these powerful tools that we can use to create the life we want.
Exactly. And there's actually a lot of research in neuroscience and psychology that backs this up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like our thoughts trigger all these things in our brains and bodies that actually influence our actions and the results we get.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. It's like we have this incredible power to create our own reality. But most of us don't even realize it.
We're running on autopilot, just letting our thoughts run wild.
Exactly. And Colucci brings up Steph Curry as an example.
Oh, yeah, the basketball superstar.
Right. And he wrote, "I can do all things," on his shoe.
And look what he's accomplished.
I mean, talent and hard work obviously play a role, but that belief in himself, that's huge.
Definitely. It's like he programmed himself for success.
And it makes you wonder, how many of us are holding ourselves back with limiting beliefs?
Oh, I think that's a really important question.
Right. We might not even be aware of these negative thoughts, but they're like these invisible barriers.
They can really stop us from achieving our full potential.
It's like self-sabotage almost.
In a way, yeah.
I used to have this limiting belief about public speaking.
Oh, really?
I was terrified of it. Like, I literally thought I'd faint on stage.
Wow, that's intense.
It was. But then I started to question that belief.
Like, where did that fear come from?
Exactly. And I realized it was just based on fear, nothing else.
And what did you do?
I started visualizing myself, speaking confidently and slowly. That fear started to fade away.
That's a perfect example of how we can reframe our beliefs.
And Colucci actually suggests using affirmations to do that.
Affirmations, yeah, those are powerful.
They are. It's basically consciously replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones.
It's not about denying reality. It's about shifting your focus.
Exactly. So instead of saying, "I'm terrible at public speaking," you might say, "I am becoming a confident and engaging speaker."
It might feel a little weird at first.
It does, but the more you repeat those affirmations, the more they start to sink in.
And that's when the magic happens.
Right. Your thoughts start to shape your reality.
And the book has some amazing examples of how successful people use this.
Like Jim Carrey. Right.
Yeah, he wrote himself a $10 million check years before he actually earned it.
It's like he visualized it, believed it, and it became his reality.
Of course, he worked hard too, but that belief was essential.
Definitely. It's like setting the intention.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're working on our mindset.
Yeah.
We're tackling those limiting beliefs. We're visualizing our goals.
We're on the right track.
But now the question is, who do we turn to for guidance? We can't do everything alone.
Right. We need support.
And Colucci emphasizes finding the right people to get advice from.
People who have already achieved what you want to achieve.
Exactly. Mentors, basically.
And mentors, yeah. People who can guide you.
And the cool thing is, successful people are often really generous with their advice.
Yeah, they want to help others succeed.
It's like they're paying it forward.
Exactly.
But how do you actually approach these successful people? Like, do you just slide into their DMs with a bunch of questions?
Well, Colucci has some tips for that.
Oh, good.
First, do your research. Show them you're genuinely interested in their work.
Yeah, don't just be like, "Hey, how do I get rich?"
Right. Come prepared with thoughtful questions. Show them you've done your homework.
And be enthusiastic. Show them you're eager to learn.
Yeah, passion is contagious.
It is. So it's not about begging for favors. It's about showing respect and a genuine desire to learn from their experience.
Exactly. And even if you can't meet them personally, there are other ways.
Like reading their biographies.
Yeah, or listening to interviews, watching documentaries.
It's like having a mentor in a book or on a screen.
You can learn so much from their stories.
Colucci uses the example of Pat Croce, who went from physical therapist to owning the Philadelphia 76ers.
Talk about a career change.
Right. And his story is full of lessons about risk-taking, perseverance, and building a team.
It's inspiring, right?
It is. But here's the thing. Colucci reminds us that belief without action is just wishful thinking.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like that story he tells about the guy praying to win the lottery without buying a ticket.
I remember that. Hilarious.
But it makes a serious point. You can't just sit around and wait for things to happen.
You have to take action.
Exactly. Even small actions done consistently can lead to big results.
It's about taking those little steps day by day.
It's like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
I love that quote.
Me too. And Colucci points out that even the most successful people face setbacks and rejections.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's the ability to keep going, to learn from those experiences that makes the difference.
It's that resilience, that grit.
He talks about Stephen King, the horror writer.
Oh, yeah, he's had a lot of success.
He has, but early in his career, he faced tons of rejections.
Really?
Yeah, he even threw away his manuscript for Carrie at one point.
I didn't know that.
But he kept writing. He kept refining his craft, and that's what led him to become a legend.
It's a good reminder to never give up.
It is. Success isn't a straight line. It's about embracing the detours and challenges along the way.
It's about the journey, not just the destination. So we've got our goals, we're working on our mindset, we're finding mentors.
And we're taking action. But Colucci also introduces a surprising tool for success. Volunteering.
Volunteering, interesting.
Yeah, and he's not just talking about charity work. He's talking about investing your time in a way that pays off in the long run.
I like that perspective, investing your time.
He shares the story of Roger Staubach, the famous football player.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
While he was in the Navy, he volunteered his time in real estate.
Smart move.
And that experience helped him launch a super successful real estate company after his football career.
So he was already building his future while still playing football.
Exactly. It's like planting seeds for the future.
And it shows how volunteering can create these unexpected opportunities.
You're not just giving back. You're gaining experience, building your network, learning from successful people.
It's a win-win.
Right. And Colucci contrasts that with the story of Tina, the Yelp employee who complained about her low wages and got fired.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story.
And then there's Damon John, the founder of FUBU, who learned to sew by volunteering at a local shop.
And that helped him build a multi-million-dollar business.
It's amazing, right? Tina focused on the problem, while Damon saw an opportunity to learn and grow.
It's all about perspective.
And this brings us to another crucial element of success: attitude.
Attitude, yeah, that's huge.
He quotes Malcolm Forbes, who said, "Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm."
Love that quote.
Me too.
Yeah.
And Colucci really emphasizes having a positive and enthusiastic attitude.
Not just for ourselves, but for the impact it has on others.
Exactly. It's contagious, it motivates, it creates a more positive environment.
Like, think about a coach who inspires their team with enthusiasm versus one who's always doubting them.
Which team do you think is going to win?
Definitely the one with the enthusiastic coach.
It's like that saying, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Absolutely. But it's not about being happy-go-lucky all the time.
Right. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, even when things are tough.
And using that energy to fuel your actions.
And Colucci reminds us that we're in control of our emotions.
We can choose to dwell on the past or focus on the future.
And create the life we want. He doesn't sugarcoat it. Life throws curveballs.
It does, but it's how we react to those challenges that shapes our destiny.
It's like that saying, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf.
You can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond.
Now, here's something that might seem a little unexpected. Colucci also emphasizes good manners.
Good manners.
Yeah, he argues that treating people with respect and kindness can open doors that even the best education can't.
It's about building relationships, fostering goodwill.
Leaving a positive impression on everyone you meet.
I think that's so important, especially in today's world.
You know, I experienced this firsthand once at the airport.
Oh, tell me about it.
My flight was delayed. Everyone was yelling at the gate agent.
I can imagine.
But I just calmly asked for an update. She gave me hundreds of dollars in flight vouchers just for being polite.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was, and it just shows how good manners can create these unexpected opportunities.
Well, it's about those small acts of kindness.
And Colucci shares another story about how he was leasing a property for his business, and he got a better offer to sell it.
So what did he do?
He could have taken advantage of a loophole in the lease.
But he didn't.
No, he explained the situation to the guy he was leasing from. The guy was so impressed by his honesty that he let him out of the lease with no hard feelings.
Wow, that's incredible.
It shows that honesty and integrity aren't just morally right. they could be beneficial in a practical sense too.
People remember how you treat them.
And that reputation can open doors.
It's about building trust.
Speaking of essential ingredients for success, Colucci really drives home the importance of perseverance.
Perseverance, that's a big one.
He argues that it can trump talent, privilege, even education.
He uses the story of Abraham Lincoln to illustrate that.
Yeah, talk about perseverance.
Lincoln faced so many defeats in his life, but he never gave up.
And he became one of the most influential presidents in history.
It's a truly inspiring story.
It is. It shows that success is rarely a straight line.
There will be obstacles, but it's our ability to keep going that matters.
Colucci encourages us to adopt a no means maybe mindset when it comes to our dreams.
I like that. No means maybe.
It's about seeing rejection not as a dead end, but as a challenge.
To find a different path to your goals.
Now, get ready for this. Colucci takes us on a deep dive into the concept of believing it will happen.
That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
It's about the power of visualization and belief.
Like the law of attraction.
Kind of. He suggests that what you truly believe will happen.
That's a powerful idea.
It is. It's about seeing the end result so clearly in your mind that it feels inevitable.
Not just wishing, but actively shaping your reality.
He talks about Jim Carrey again, who wrote himself that $10 million check.
And eventually earned it.
It's like he willed it into existence.
And Colucci shares his own stories too, about acquiring a valuable painting and investing in real estate.
It's all about shifting your mindset, believing in the possibility of your dreams.
Even when you don't have all the answers.
So we've covered a lot here. The power of thoughts, finding mentors, taking action, attitude, perseverance, and believing it will happen.
It's a lot to digest.
It is. But Colucci doesn't stop there. He offers a whole toolkit of additional principles for success and happiness.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. These principles are like the finishing touches, the little things that can make a big difference.
I'm intrigued. Let's hear them.
Okay, so one of the first principles he talks about is gratitude.
Gratitude, that's a good one.
He believes that wanting what you have is just as important as having what you want.
It's about appreciating what you already have.
Exactly. And research shows that gratitude can boost happiness, improve relationships, even enhance our physical health.
It makes sense. When you're grateful, you focus on the positive.
And speaking of expanding our horizons, Colucci encourages us to try new things.
Step outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. And discover hidden talents or passions.
Like we're all these multifaceted gems waiting to be uncovered.
It reminds me of that quote, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone."
I love that.
And Colucci talks about Steven Spielberg, who skipped school to make home movies as a kid.
Wow, really?
His mom could have shut that down, but she let him pursue his passion.
And he became a cinematic legend.
It shows that sometimes the most successful people are the ones who dare to be different.
To think outside the box.
And speaking of authenticity, Colucci also stresses the importance of admitting our failings.
Of failures.
He believes that real failure only occurs when you give up
It's about learning from your mistakes.
and using them as stepping stones.
He even shares some of his own failures in the book.
Yeah, which makes him even more relatable.
It shows that everyone makes mistakes.
And it takes the pressure off this idea of perfection.
Okay, so we've talked about gratitude, trying new things, admitting failings.
Yeah.
Colucci also talks about the importance of choosing the right friends.
Oh, that's huge.
He says that if you show him the 5 people you spend the most time with, he'll show you your future.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is, because we tend to adopt the habits and mindsets of the people we're closest to.
So if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people.
But also with people who are kind, compassionate, and uplifting.
It's not just about external success. It's about creating a supportive and positive environment.
Speaking of support, Colucci also emphasizes taking care of ourselves.
Self-care, that's so important.
Getting enough sleep, eating healthy foods, exercising.
Engaging in activities that bring you joy.
It's about finding balance.
And he also suggests taking time for meditation or mindfulness practices.
To quiet the mind and reconnect with yourself.
That's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
You have to take care of yourself to be your best.
And speaking of being your best, Colucci reminds us that taking action is crucial.
Don't just think about it, do it.
He says it's often the first step that's the hardest.
We can get stuck in planning mode.
It's like that feeling of inertia. An object at rest tends to stay at rest.
But once you start moving, the momentum builds.
He emphasizes that action creates clarity.
The next steps become clearer once you get going.
Now here's some practical advice that might not seem as exciting, but it's important. Colucci talks about financial education.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
crucial.
stresses understanding money management,
Learning the rules of the game.
and he really warns against credit card debt.
He calls it legalized loan sharking.
It can really trap people.
It's like financial quicksand.
He encourages living within your means, saving for the future, making wise investments.
It's about taking control of your finances.
And speaking of creating a positive future, Colucci also emphasizes generosity,
Generosity.
giving back to others.
Oh, yeah, it's important.
It's not just about donating money. It's about being generous with your time, skills, and resources.
It's about making a positive impact on the world.
And often, generosity comes back to us in unexpected ways.
It's like that saying, the more you give, the more you receive.
I love that.
Me too. And it's not just about material things. It's about giving your time, energy, kindness, support.
Speaking of doing the right thing, Colucci also highlighted the importance of integrity.
Integrity, that's the foundation of everything.
He believes it's the foundation of true success
It's about being honest and ethical.
and living in alignment with your values.
And he reminds us that integrity isn't just about big moments. It's about the choices we make every day.
Even in small situations,
It's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching.
because it's the right thing to do.
And integrity builds trust.
And trust is essential for any kind of success.
It's about creating a life you can be proud of.
Okay, we've explored a lot of Colucci's principles.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but I think one of the most important takeaways is that we all have the power to create the life we want.
It's not about luck, it's about choice.
We choose our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions.
And ultimately, our destiny.
Another key takeaway is that success is a journey, not a destination.
It's about enjoying the process, embracing the challenges.
Celebrating the wins, constantly striving to become better.
And it's important to remember that we're not alone on this journey.
There are mentors, resources, people who are on the same path.
We just have to reach out and connect.
So to our listener, I encourage you to take all this wisdom and apply it to your life.
What can you do today to move closer to your goals?
What dreams have you been putting off?
It's time to start believing in yourself and your vision.
And remember, anything is possible.
Absolutely anything. He talks about gratitude first.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
He says that wanting what you have is just as important as having what you want.
I like that. Appreciate what you've got.
Yeah, be present, enjoy the journey.
It's so easy to get caught up in chasing the next thing.
It is, but gratitude can really change your whole perspective.
It can, and it can actually have a big impact on your success too.
Oh yeah, there's research on that.
Like it can make you happier, healthier, even improve your relationships.
Makes sense. When you're focused on the good stuff, you're more resilient.
And speaking of expanding your horizons, Colucci talks about trying new things.
Oh yeah, gotta step out of that comfort zone.
He encourages us to explore, discover hidden talents.
Like there's so much potential waiting to be unlocked.
It's like that saying, life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
So true, gotta push those boundaries.
And he uses Steven Spielberg as an example.
Spielberg, what about him?
He used to skip school to make home movies.
No way, really?
Yeah, his mom could have stopped him, but she let him pursue his passion.
And look what happened, he became a legend.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the most successful people are the ones who break the mold.
Who do things their own way.
And speaking of being true to yourself, Colucci also talks about admitting your failings.
Oh, owning up to your mistakes.
He says that real failure only happens when you give up.
So it's about getting back up, learning from those experiences.
And he even shares some of his own failures in the book.
Does he? That's cool. Makes him more human.
It does. It shows that everyone makes mistakes, even successful people.
Takes the pressure off, right?
It does. So we've got gratitude, trying new things, admitting failings.
What else?
Colucci also talks about choosing the right friends.
Ah, your tribe, your circle.
He says that if he sees the 5 people you hang out with most, he can predict your future.
Wow, that's a strong statement.
It is, but it makes sense. We're influenced by the people we spend time with.
So surround yourself with people who lift you up, who inspire you.
Exactly. And not just successful people, but kind, compassionate people too.
It's about creating a positive and supportive environment.
And speaking of support, Colucci also emphasizes taking care of yourself.
Self-care, so important.
He talks about sleep, healthy food, exercise,
Things that make you feel good.
finding that balance between work and rest.
And he suggests meditation or mindfulness too.
To quiet the mind, find some inner peace.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Got to fill yourself up first.
And then you can give to others.
And speaking of giving, Colucci reminds us that taking action is key.
Don't just dream it. be it.
He says the first step is often the hardest.
It can be that inertia,
Like an object at rest stays at rest.
But once you get moving, things start happening.
Action creates
You
clarity.
would figure things out as you go.
And here's something that might not be as exciting, but it's crucial. Financial education.
Money matters.
He stresses understanding how to manage your money.
Learning the rules of the game.
And he's really big on avoiding credit card debt.
That can be a trap.
He calls it legalized loan sharking.
Ouch. Yeah, those interest rates can be brutal.
He encourages living within your means, saving, investing wisely.
Taking control of your finances.
And speaking of creating a positive future, he also talks about generosity.
Generosity, how does that fit in?
It's about giving back, making a difference.
Paying it forward.
Not just money, but your time, skills, resources.
It's like that saying, the more you give, the more you receive.
It's true. Generosity often comes back to us in unexpected ways.
It's about creating a ripple effect of positivity.
And speaking of positivity, Colucci also highlights the importance of integrity.
Doing the right thing.
He says it's the foundation of true success.
Being honest, ethical, living by your values.
And it's not just about big decisions. It's about the choices we make every day.
Even when no one's watching.
Because it's the right thing to do.
It builds trust.
And trust is everything.
So we've covered a lot of Colucci's principles here.
We have. It's a lot to think about.
It is, but the main takeaway is that we have the power to create the life we want.
It's about making choices, taking action.
Another key point is that success is a journey, not a destination.
Enjoy the process, learn, grow, celebrate the wins.
And don't forget, we're not alone on this journey.
There's support out there, people who want to see you succeed.
So reach out, connect, and keep moving forward.
So Colucci ends the book with this incredible story about a guy named Derek Emerald.
Derek Emerald, yeah.
He had this really bad spinal cord injury.
Oh, wow.
And he was told he'd never walk again.
I can't even imagine.
It's heartbreaking, right?
It is, to have that taken away.
But Derek, he refused to accept that.
Really?
Yeah, he held on to hope. He visualized himself walking again.
That's powerful.
And he worked so hard in physical therapy.
You didn't give up?
No, he didn't. And after 2.5 years, he walked again.
Wow, that's incredible.
It really is. It shows the power of belief, perseverance, the resilience of the human spirit.
It's inspiring, for sure.
Colucci shares this story, not to say we can all overcome anything,
Right.
but to remind us that we're capable of amazing things
When we set our minds to it.
when we don't give up on our dreams.
So as we, with those stories, those real life examples,
He doesn't just tell you what to do, he shows you how.
gives you tools and techniques.
It's like a toolkit for success and happiness.
But we have to use those tools, right?
We do. It takes effort, commitment.
But it's worth it.
So what are some key takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, first, we all have the power to create the life we want.
It's about choice, not luck.
Second, success is a journey, not a destination.
Enjoy the process. Embrace the challenges.
And third, we're not alone on this journey.
There's support out there.
So reach out, connect, keep learning.
And remember, Derek Emerald,
Never give up on your dreams.
anything is possible.
Believe in yourself.